Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless. Rob Parker. Shannon is out today. So good morning, guys.
I was just too hard on Shannon.
Is that what it was?
You're going to say that.
Seen it a day. I don't know.
He went there.
I'll try to take it a little easier on Rob. He's a little skinnier than Shannon.
I'm going to take it easy on you today, Skip.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah. I understand. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
We go back a long time.
We do. We started doing this in 2006 on a show called Cold Pizza. How are you?
I'm doing just great. In New York City, that's right.
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do this. We've got a lot to get to today. On today's show, is LeBron making more excuses? And is Rob ready to jump on the Tebow bandwagon? Maybe you guys talked about that before, and we're going to go there again. But let's start with Skip's guy, Kyler Murray. He is projected by many people to be a top 10 pick, but the biggest critique of his game has been his lack of size. Kyler even said being a first-round pick would be crazy to him because, quote, I'm not over 6 foot. I haven't seen that since I've been alive. Kyler's coach from college, Lincoln Riley, gave his former quarterback some very high praise to Peter King. Riley said this: his speed obviously is off the charts. He'll be the fastest quarterback in the NFL by a long shot the day he walks in the door. But on top of that, I think the things as a runner and athletically he brings and his elite quickness will be important. He's not going to take unnecessary hits. He's kind of got the body to withstand a few, but I almost compare him. I know this is high praise, but I mean, it's almost kind of like a Barry Sanders effect. Yes, I'm small for the position, but I'm so athletic and so smart that I just rarely take big shots. Skip, do you buy the comparison?
It's a mouthful from Lincoln Riley.
It is a mouthful. I mean, comparing Kyler to Barry, do you buy it?
I agree with Lincoln Riley.
Wow.
And I'm going to say this again because I've been saying it all football season long. I have never seen anything like Kyler Murray on a football field. And I'm going to say this again. I know that Cliff Kingsbury, the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth because I can't believe he is.
I bet you Cliff can't believe it.
He probably can't at this moment. But I know he said last week they're sticking with their guy, Josh Rosen. They are going to miss another big boat, or maybe I should say a speed boat here, if they don't take Kyler number one and figure out something else to do with Josh Rosen. I think they could auction him off to the highest bidder because he is made for what Cliff Kingsbury does and will do and could do for Arizona if he had Kyler instead of a pocket passer, prototypical Josh Rosen, stand in the pocket and get knocked down, because that's what's going to happen mostly to Josh Rosen. So I started saying after the Oklahoma-Texas game, which was October 6th, that Kyler Murray reminds me of Barry Sanders. I used those two words, Barry Sanders, on this show, Rob Parker, just for the record.
Okay.
Because I said I've never seen feet any quicker on a football field than Kyler Murray's. Now, you covered Barry Sanders in Detroit. I watched a whole lot of Barry Sanders all the way back to his days at Oklahoma State. And Kyler doesn't have the gymnastic escapability that Barry had because I'd never seen anything like that. I'm talking about escapability under duress with 3 tacklers around him. You just couldn't get a hold of him, get him on the ground.
Barry didn't need his offensive line.
He didn't need his offensive line. He was most dangerous in bad situations. The worse the situation for him, if he's trapped in the backfield and he escapes, you are dead because you're not going to have enough defenders downfield to stop him from getting to the goal line. But Kyler Murray, I'm talking about electric feet. I'm talking about video game quickness, just foot speed quickness. I'm not talking about 40-yard speed. So when Lincoln went all the way, Lincoln Riley, to he'll be the fastest quarterback in the NFL by a long shot, I'm pretty sure he meant more quickness than 40-yard dash speed.
Okay.
Now, Kyler was asked last night at the Davey O'Brien Awards, when did you run a 40 last? And he said, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. He said he ran 4.3. Now, Lamar Jackson, just for the record, at his pro day last year ran 4.34, and that's the fastest time any quarterback has ever timed. That wasn't at the combine, but just measured time on record, that's the fastest at 4.34. And just for the other records, RG3 ran 4.41 at the combine. Tyrod Taylor is 4.5. Mariota is 4.52. Kaepernick was 4.53. That just gives you some idea of where they usually fall. If you're 4.5 at quarterback, that's lightning fast. John Ross is the all-time fastest at the combine at 4.22, and Deion Sanders, they tell the great story. He just took his sweats off and ran 4.27 at the combine. Could Kyler run a 4.2 flat? It would not shock me. But I'm here to say the reason this kid is so special is because he uses the electric quickness to buy time in the pocket. He's not a pure runner of the football. Like, he doesn't look to run it. He uses the quickness to buy throwing lanes in the pocket, because he put up numbers last year that no quarterback has ever put up in the history of college football. His QBR history of the stat was the greatest ever. It even eclipsed Baker Mayfield's great year of the year before, in which he won the Heisman Trophy. So I'm here to say that even though at the end of the year he had 3 100-yard rushing games at Texas Tech, at West Virginia, and then against Alabama, that's not really what he does. He uses the feet to throw the football, and he can flat out wing it. So to me, in comparison to Barry Sanders, he's the Barry Sanders of quarterbacks, which is why he's such a rare commodity and so special. And again, Mel Kiper right now has him projected going 13th to the Dolphins, though Mel, I saw him on the late Sports Center, did not rule out going 4 to Oakland or even 11. Can't remember.
The Giants have already ruled him out, basically, because of his size. That's what they say, right?
They seem fixated on Haskins.
Sure.
So Cincinnati's at 11. So is that a possibility? Well, to me, there's still a possibility at number 1, because that's where he would be the best fit to me. So I love the comparison. I don't think it heaps too much pressure on this kid. I think he will stand up to it. And standing up is going to be the next big question, because how tall will he stand? Go ahead, fire away.
Yeah, I have a problem with it. Lincoln Riley, I get it. It's his guy, his quarterback. But it felt like, to me, Skip, this was a P.T. Barnum. I'm not poo-pooing Kyler Murray at all and what he was able to accomplish on a college level and going forward, right? Will he be a good quarterback? But I'm just hearing all the stuff that's coming out, and everything is if you don't buy into him, you're a dinosaur. We heard that from the agent. Now we're hearing from his former coach that he's Barry Sanders. And I get it. You might try to manipulate it and say it carefully. And he even stopped before he mentioned Barry Sanders, because he knows what reaction. But when you throw Barry Sanders out there, people are going to have some expectations that are really, really high. So I think that was the problem I had with it, is you're putting a kid out there that he's going to be something that we've never seen, and that's the selling point. It was one thing for him to be, Skip, a first overall pick. They don't want him to be, a first round pick. They want him to be the first overall pick. So this is all the build-up now, and this is where we are. I know you do, and his followers and the people who love him, they want him too. They want to be able to break the mold. It's not enough to have a 5'9" who's going to be the shortest quarterback in the history of the NFL, for him to go in the first round, and for him to be the first the first player who was ever the first round in baseball and football. That's not even good enough for them. They want him to be number 1, and they're going to sell him from here up until a draft and tell you how you better not miss on him. Right? You better not miss on a Barry Sanders with a throwing arm. And this is where this is all coming from. We've seen other guys who had unbelievable college careers, Heisman Trophy winners, all the other stuff, who didn't make the transition. You brought up, no doubt about it. Okay. Not even close. I totally agree. But I'm just saying the amount of success that Lamar Jackson had in college with those numbers, you would think that it would translate, or at least he would be a lot better throwing the football. So I get all of it, and why people are excited and what they're going to do. And this guy's going to be a first-round pick, where maybe in years gone by it would have never been the case, because we've never seen a guy this size. But Lincoln Riley needs to pump the brakes, and Skip Bayless needs to pump the brakes, and Kyler Murray's agent needs to pump the brakes.
It's hard for Kyler to pump the brakes, because he is a runaway train.
Well, man, Kyler can't pump the brakes because he can't.
Oh, well, speaking of that, so he said last night he's going to measure 5'9" to 5'10", something like that. Jenny Taft has interviewed Kyler Murray
I have.
numbers of times. Do you have any thoughts on what? In fact, I think you have some pictures. If I
did a little
recall.
research
Yeah?
because I knew you'd bring up his height,
Yeah.
and I just thought we should use some photos to really show you how tall
Okay.
Kyler is compared to me. I'm about 5'8.5".
Okay.
I have flats on there, nothing.
Okay.
You don't have spikes on. He's
have-
wearing cleats.
He's wearing cleats.
And
yes.
they probably help a little bit, maybe
Helps
give
a
you
little.
an inch.
He's got a little hair, help, but I am still looking up at him. You have to see, my eyesight there is definitely looking up a bit. So I thought that was some good evidence. I mean,
Okay, so what's your gut feeling? 5'9"?
that's my gut.
But you've
5'9".
covered college
5'9",
football.
and I think he's 5'9.5". I'm just under 5'9".
But you've covered and you've seen the other quarterbacks around in college football, and they
True.
are much bigger. That doesn't mean that he can't play in the NFL and with the style change and different things that are available. I get all that, but I don't think it's a slam dunk that everybody makes it out to be. Skip, you're saying he's a transcendent player, right? He's going to be something we've never seen. I don't know. Is he winning 3 Super Bowls?
I think he can
he's of
be at
that
least
caliber.
as good as Russell Wilson. Now we get to the other measurable, which is stature.
Sure.
Your weight. I know Mel Kiper keeps saying, I'm more interested, says Mel, in weight than I am height.
Because Russell Wilson has more beef to him, more body to him.
He's got thickness to him. He has big thighs. He has a big base that he runs from, and he's able to take some punishment because Russell Wilson takes a bunch of shots, man. And for his first 3 or 4 years, he was running more than he does now. But again, to me, I watch Kyler avoid a lot of shots, and he's got some. Here I go with another big comparison. He's also got some Emmitt Smith in him, in that Emmitt was a little guy. Emmitt was 5'9", 205-ish.
But a lot bigger than Kyler.
Okay, but will Kyler weigh 200? 195? If he weighs 200 at that size, at 5'9", 200, that'll work.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to take some beating, obviously, at the next level that Russell Wilson's been able to take. Kyler Murray took, again, I saw him go 17 times for 109 yards against Alabama in the national semifinal. Take some shots? Sure. He took lots of shots. He took shots in the pocket, but Rob Parker, he has that Emmitt Smith knack for avoiding the quote-unquote kill shot, the career ender, the career-threatening shot. So he's got some gear in him where he senses and escapes the direct hit. And I didn't ever see him take a punishing hit where I said, ooh, I don't know if he can get up from that one.
Nope.
So to me, he looks big enough. Like he doesn't look small in his jersey to me. He looks like he has enough thickness. He's not Russell Wilson, but he's big enough that I think he's going to be able to survive in the National Football League because he doesn't look to run. Now, Lincoln Riley would call runs for him occasionally, but it's not like he looks to bolt.
You're right.
Like Lamar, too much to me, even last year with Baltimore, his MO was, I'm probably going to run this time. Like he's dropping back and you can just see in his eyes, okay, I'll scan, but if I don't see anything right away, I'm going to take off. And when he takes off, to me, he has better, like we had Michael Vick on, and Michael Vick admitted to me right here on the show, Lamar's just faster than I am for 40 yards. Once he gets a head of steam down the field, and Michael Vick was electric in the open field. He had Barry Sanders in.
Now he did.
Okay.